Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and welcome back to Labyrinth. So, I got some poetry for you guys. These ones I think are kind of cool, kind of interesting. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Those of you who are new to Nigel Dixie's Tales from Labyrinth, first of all, welcome. But also, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reading some poetry. I read 5 poems each episode, 3 for myself, 2 from other poets. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with this first one. This one's called Bird Watching. I like watching birds. I'm not a professional bird watcher, but it's something I enjoy doing from time to time. Looking at the birds as they fly to and fro, high in the sky, sometimes above the clouds, not concerned about things like bills or taxes, don't have to worry about having a social life, just flying and grabbing food all day long, flying free. Um, now, this is mainly about birds, but I think we've thought this about a lot of animals, not having to worry about a lot of stuff that we humans have to deal with, such as like taxes and stuff like that. Just being an animal, or just getting to roam about, being free, being able to um, just be at peace and be, he well, I guess free. Yeah, so being free, being at peace, just allowed to just be, I guess. Not having to worry about human problems and stuff that comes with being a human in the world, if that makes sense. And the reason I relate it to birds is because I see a lot of birds as I'm going out and about, almost every day, seeing birds and everything. But yeah, so this next one is called Imagination. Imagination is a powerful thing, being able to create anything and everything. You can be anything and do anything, go on adventures, rule as a monarch, or just drift away for a while, I should say, away from reality. Uh, so, pretty much using imagination, just kind of getting lost in your own world sometimes. Obviously, we can't do this all the time because we have life, and life oftentimes reminds us that it has to be lived, and we have things to do in life. But otherwise, otherwise, imagination, almost like a childlike concept. I feel like a lot of people equate imagination to childlike things, but we have imaginations as well as adults. What we do with it, and what we do with reality all depends on us. But imagination truly is powerful, and it allows us to create create worlds, and sometimes we want to share those worlds with others. But we all have an imagination, you know. This next one is called Scars. Physical bruises, they heal eventually. Mental scars may not do the same. So, pretty much talking about physical bruises, such as like scraping your arm, scraping your leg, or whatever, or and then versus mental scars. Pretty much stuff that you interpret in your mind, things that stay with you, things that stick with you in your psyche. Those take longer to heal. Sometimes those don't heal at all. Whether it's traumatic events, whether it's something that happened in the past, something you experienced, oftentimes those stick with us. So be kind with people because you never know what they're going through. You never know the background. You never know the scars that someone has unless they share them with you, of course. But yeah. So, this next poem is called "In the Season of Pink Ladies," and this is by a Sayuri Ayers. And apologies if I mispronounce any of these names. After Honeycrisp and Winesap have fallen, another season begins. The orchard glistens, adorned in rose gold fruit. Branches creak, music of surrender. On tiptoe, my son shakes gnarled limbs, bringing a shower of blushing apples. He gives me the pretty one, laced with wormholes. He runs ahead, slipping from me. As his shadow lengthens, another season begins. The orchard glistens. My son crushes fruit underfoot. Their splitting music of surrender. Um, Almost kind of dark, but talking about apples and the changing of seasons, and kind of relating apples or just any types of fruit to the seasons change. We see the fruit blossoming, the fruit growing, uh, the fruit, but then the fruit falls and is crushed and everything. So kind of showing the cycle of things as the seasons change. And also a bit unrelated, but I'm someone who does love apples, of course. But yeah, so we're seeing the seasons change and seeing just the changing of things as time goes on. I think is what's conveyed here in this poem. And finally, this one is called "Whenever You See a Tree," and this is by Padma Venkatraman. Again, if I mispronounce any of these, I do apologize. Think how many long years this tree waited as a seed for an animal or bird or wind or rain to maybe carry it to maybe the right spot, where again it waited months for seasons to change, until time and temperature were fine enough to coax it to swell and burst its hard shell so it could send slender roots to clutch at grains of soil and let tender shoots reach toward the sun. Think how many decades or centuries it thickened and climbed and grew, taller and deeper, and never knowing if it would find enough water or light, or when conditions would be right so it could keep on spreading leaves, adding blossoms and dancing. Next time you see a tree, think how much hope it holds. Um, Interesting little note about this and how it's written on the poetryfoundation.org, which is where I find these lovely poems at a really awesome site. Poems for pretty much anything you need and a lot of poets, so definitely recommend checking out that website. But on the poetryfoundation.org, it's actually this poem is actually written and shaped like a tree, which is actually pretty cool. Um, but um, the main theme I'm noticing for this poem and kind of the lesson it teaches, using the tree to talk about patience. Now, patience is something I covered on System Shock Radio, this past episode, System Shock Radio, episode 96. So if you haven't already, go check that out. But pretty much the tree's waiting for the seasons to change, for the time and temperature to be right, for the seeds to grow and blossom and create plants, bear fruit, all that stuff. But not giving up hope, but just hanging in there and waiting there for their opportunity to blossom. And something we can, is something we can relate to our lives. Oftentimes, we have to wait for things to grow and blossom, and it may take a while, it may take a long time, but it'll happen for us eventually. And in the meantime, we work while we wait. We continue to do things. We continue to be active, and we continue to allow stuff to grow while we're waiting for it to grow. Oh, so we can take the lesson from the trees here, which I think is what this poem is trying to say. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on these poems, your thoughts on my analysis. Did you dislike the poems? Did you dislike my analysis? And what's your interpretations of these poems? But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.